Hey, what's going on? This one brings a bunch of useful changes that players are going to notice right away. The biggest headline is the private storage upgrade tied to the Greymane Camp expansion, because your storage can now grow from 240 slots all the way up to 1,000 slots once you fully expand the camp through its 5 stages. That means the upgrade path starts at 240, then jumps by 100 slots at each of the first 4 expansions, and ends with a final boost of 360 slots at the last stage. On top of that, the update adds an Abyss Nexus in Pyloon, so there is one more fast travel point in the world, and it also improves the visibility of explosive barrels when you use the light reflection skill or shine the lantern on them, which is the kind of change that sounds minor until it saves you from missing something important in the middle of a fight or puzzle. The same section also clears up several frustrating issues, like combat missions where comrades would not return until the timer finished even after you completed the mission early, an Abyss puzzle state that could reset when checking node details from the map while in the Abyss, and a bug where your character could become invisible if you picked up an Abyss artifact before the completion cutscene played. It also fixes the skill reset problem involving healing force palm and aerial force palm, changes the designs of certain gimmick monsters, adds a new armor set and helmet for cats, and improves Abyss skybridge gates so restored gates can be teleported to. A big part of this patch is clearly focused on controls and combat, and that is where the quality of life improvements really start to stand out. A new movement controls option has been added in the settings, and it gives players 2 different styles, Basic and Classic. Basic works by holding the sprint key to accelerate, while Classic keeps the older feel where you repeatedly press sprint to build speed. That change also affects mount stamina, because with basic controls, holding sprint drains stamina at fixed intervals, while with Classic controls, stamina is consumed each time you press sprint. The update also improves Abyss Nexus usage so you can activate it even while moving slightly, as long as you are not in restricted situations like being mounted or using flight. There is even a note that this will be improved further later, so fast travel while on certain mounts can become possible. Flight itself also gets a smoother feel, since it can now be activated even if you are holding the jump key in midair, and jumping after an attack is more responsive as well. On top of that, there is now an escape key guide when elemental status effects are active. Focus is now cancelled properly when using aerial roll during flight, and several combat bugs are cleaned up, including weapon drawing inside Demoness Castle under certain conditions, bosses teleporting too far away, the double boost horse ability failing, parry not working properly during focus with a 2-handed sword, camera movement snapping toward nearby enemies while aiming with a tool, tool-based interactions being blocked in some cases, and horses reaching max speed unfairly by repeatedly pressing sprint, regardless of stats. Quest players also got a serious set of fixes here, and these matter because story progression bugs can be way more annoying than a simple visual issue. In Chapter 6, progression could break after defeating a boss if you had saved and loaded under certain conditions, and that is now fixed. Another progression blocker involving the quest, a rumor fueled by greed, has been addressed too, since selling a related item before starting the quest could stop progression from moving forward. Chapter 11 also had a problem where the inserted key could disappear from the bag, which again could block progress, so that has been repaired as well. There's also a fix for quest-related NPCs not appearing when they should, which is the kind of thing that can leave a player wandering around, wondering what happened next. The user interface gets a fair amount of attention too. Item use notifications in the bottom right now select the item directly. The shop UI now prioritizes sellable items. The key guide in the bottom right has been rearranged for better visibility. Save game and load game menus are now separated with save slot numbers added. The minimap scale no longer resets while riding at maximum speed. The mouse cursor no longer disappears in storage on keyboard and mouse. Horse inventory item movement is improved. Several menus are more reliable and less awkward visually. Crashes tied to certain UI interactions are fixed, and the stow weapon key guide now appears during mounted combat. There are also some nice customization and graphics changes that will probably get a lot of attention. A new headgear visibility setting has been added under language and gameplay, and it gives 4 choices: always show, show in combat, hide in cutscenes, and always hide. The patch also mentions that hiding weapons on the character's back is planned for the future, which is worth noting because that is something a lot of players have been asking for. On the visual side, FSR upscaling has been improved on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox. PC specifically gets FSR SDK 2.2 and better FSR frame generation quality, and several PC issues tied to DLSSRR, FSRRR, ray-traced reflections, DLAA with HDR, and low graphics presets have been fixed. PlayStation 5 Pro gets upgraded PSSR sharpening and native anti-aliasing in quality mode, while Xbox gets a fix for VSync behavior changing after pressing the home button, and also a 4K upscaling option in performance mode on Xbox Series X. These are the kinds of updates that do not always sound dramatic on a first read, but they can make a real difference in how the game looks and feels from moment to moment. And beyond the major categories, the patch keeps polishing the edges in a way that shows the team is chasing down a wide range of issues at once. There are stability, performance, and crash fixes across PC, console, and Mac, plus broader localization cleanup to improve advice text and other language quality across all supported languages. The update also repairs missing walls in Corridors of the Void, improves sound positioning so audio shifts correctly with the camera perspective, and fixes a number of smaller issues such as the weapon not appearing when using stab with unarmed equipped as a secondary weapon, license information now being viewable in the credits, audio volume dropping when an NPC wins in minigames like Duo, and background audio distortion in certain places and situations. So overall, this patch feels less like a single feature drop and more like a full pass over storage, movement, combat flow, quest reliability, UI clarity, visuals, and platform performance all at once. That is the kind of update that tends to make the game feel steadier the longer you play, even if each individual fix looks modest on its own.